can see
Hey,
what you're
Memo,
writing.
I don't want to interrupt you. I just started recording, just so
Yeah.
you know. So, okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
No problem. So let me see. I don't know if I can see what you're writing. It's just listening.
Yeah, that's fine. If anybody says anything in the chat, I'll read it out loud. But for now, basically, Memo's here. He's gonna do a little bit of a tutorial on how to use Procreate that he uses for sketching his drawing that he turns into NFTs, and then he'll show us another one either tonight or in another AMA to show how he turns the sketches into the actual line art that he uses.
Cool. So this is Procreate, and I'm using the inking here with the technical pen. And usually in animation, people, it's like a tradition to use the color blue to sketch things.
Wow.
But sometimes I use different colors, to add on top of this, and always thinking three-dimensionally, drawing shapes with volume.
And when you do these, do you do any layers when you do these sketches, or is this all just
Yeah.
on one?
Yeah, I usually do layers. I'm just showing. For example, if I want, I probably would want to keep this head in a separate layer so I can move it around and then start drawing the body on another layer. And I usually start very loose with the, if I want to show a movement, I draw it really, really fast and worry about all the details later.
At this point, I would have been drawing for about an hour. This is and it wouldn't look like this.
Yeah, so once I have something like this, for example, I usually merge it, then move it around. See, I flip it to see if it looks all right, left and right, because sometimes it looks skewed, and that's not good for an illustration.
Wow.
Once I already have that part, then I can go in and draw all the details, like having hair like this. Since I do this every day, I have a bit of practice, knowing where everything goes. With the, it's called construction building. All these lines that have here in the middle of the head, those help place the eyes and place the snout, the mouth, and everything.
Pretty cool to see how quickly it all comes together like that.
Thanks. So the things that didn't need more detail are the faces and the hands. So that's why I take more time with those, and usually the body I can leave with not a lot of detail. Those are big strokes later anyway. Do another layer for the hand.
And you just do that so that if it looks skewed, you can like rotate it or adjust it?
Yeah, sometimes since you're not seeing everything at once, sometimes you're drawing the hand a bit too small or a bit too big, and with this you have a chance to fix that. For example, here I say maybe the hand looks a little bit too small. I can adjust it there, and it's easy. I don't mess with everything that is underneath.
And you just click that little cursor at the top and it selects the whole layer?
Yeah, this cursor selects the layer. You can see. Put a little hand here. So I don't color a lot here in Procreate. I usually
You were saying.
I usually keep these things at this stage like this, and I have a bunch of drawings here on my iPad. This is the iPad Pro, by the way, and I'm using the Apple Pencil to draw.
Do you ever use this for like a final illustration, or do you only use this for the line art or like the sketch?
I only use it for the line art because I'm doing vector art all the time, and I think it. Well, you can do final art definitely with Procreate. There are a lot of artists that do that, but there's a limit still to how much detail you can give. If you get really close, you can see the pixels there.
Oh, yeah.
And you can definitely make it bigger. Here in settings, the DPI is at 132. You can change it to 300 or something, and then you can make a more detailed illustration. But you only have a limited number of layers. So when I have it like this, I just share it as a JPEG. And I have all my illustrations here. And then I use this program called Graphic. I usually pick a 3500 by 3500 one and select this image, make it less opaque. Here in background image, you select the image you want. And then you can start working on layers. And here is where I like this program a lot because you have a lot of control over the line. For example, here you can see that the thumb didn't come quite as well as I wanted to. So I can change it here, make it thicker.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Yeah, it really helps a lot. You can to know how thick you want your lines after you draw them. It saves a lot of time.
After you finish one of those lines, if you do another line, can you go back to that one, reselect it, and make it wider or thinner? Or after you leave it, is okay.
Yeah, you can still select everything. And this is cool because after this, I export everything to Illustrator as a PDF. And there, I mean, you can color here and you can finish your illustrations here, but some gradients, transparencies, and computing power, it's not as good here. Still, maybe with there's a new iPad with, I think, 1 terabyte of RAM. I think, and I think that one, I think it has, no, I'm lying. It has 16 gigs of RAM and it has 1 terabyte space. Yeah. And that one works really well. I think you can finish a whole illustration there. So once I have this, I'm gonna close it just to show you how I color it. I have this, but you can see these intersecting lines here.
Yeah.
And I don't want those. I just copy this, place it on a different layer, and then I convert the paths to outlines. So this, I cannot longer make the lines thicker and thinner here. These are just shapes now.
So it's locked the way it is in this layer.
Yeah, it's locked. But then you can erase these parts here. You can select it.
Oh,
and then I select everything and merge it all. And I don't know, I've come up with this little trick to start making fills. I don't know if it's on any tutorial or anything. This is how I do it. I select the whole thing, I copy and paste it, and select this green color, and then separate compound path. And now I can go and color each part of this the way I like to. Just brown, for example. And if I wanted to color this another color, I can do it like that. And then I go and add a second layer in between the line and the color, and I place my shadows there. And I make them this color because later on Illustrator, I make them, I give them a transparency. Let me see if I can do it here. Well, here you can change the opacity, I guess, yeah. Yeah, if you wanted to finish everything here, you can do it like this. You know, change the opacity of the layer. And everything that you draw would have that opacity. And it would look like a shadow. Yeah, and then you have a finished hand.
Oh, that took you like 2 minutes. So when you did the killer bears, they're all from the same basic image, and you've just changed some of the different layers, like the hands, the mouths, and some of the accessories.
Yeah.
But how many do you have to draw for a project that big?
Well, I started with the skins because I did a bunch of them, a bunch of different skins for the bears. Let's see if I have some of them here. I erased a bunch of stuff. You have here the killer bears. This, for example, the designs I drew on top of them. I have like 7 different skins. I think, no, we have like 10 or 12 different skins. And I drew them all here. And then, you know, different items like hats and mouths, I started drawing them here. But it's a lot of them. See, yeah, as you can see, I worked fast on this, so I could start doing all the clothing, like this, for example, and some of like the sleeves. Sometimes they can be shared among characters and among clothes. So I just changed the color and the gradients in Illustrator, and since I already did the shadows and everything, they all change automatically. So it's not that hard to make new clothing items. or hair. Here, for example, there's a pieces of hair I did for another bear. Or clothing here.
That's awesome.
Thanks. Just change the opacity there, and you can see them as shadows. Yeah, I didn't realize you can do that here. You can just change the opacity, and you have it here. So usually, as I said, finish everything on Illustrator, because then you have to render this as JPEGs, as PNG, sorry. And I guess you can do it from here too, if you wanted to. Like, you can save this and select share, save to Dropbox. Yeah, you have a PNG option here. Yeah, you can do a lot of things here with graphic. I really recommend it.
Guess I'll have to learn this.
Yeah. Let me see. Yeah, here it is. Yeah, I think you have to eliminate just the background, and then you get just the piece you wanted to, and it has the shadows already, so it looks good.
So once you make the shadows, if you change the background color, the shadows always adjust because it's transparent, and
yeah,
you don't have to change the color.
Yeah, that's right. For example, if this piece I wanted to make it blue, you can see that the shadows change automatically. And I can even see this mistake here. And it's cool that you can move all these vertices and just fix the shapes. There you go. There's also this program, this one. I like it because you can make mirror images. And Procreate doesn't have that, I think. It's called, let me see.
I think that's Sketchpad.
Sketchbook. See, I'm just drawing on one side. It just automatically does the other side. So if you have a front-facing cartoon, it's pretty useful to have this.
If you were going to use that as an image, would you, when you trace over it and do the final layers, would you keep it perfectly symmetrical? Like, would you finish it in this app, or would you use one of the other ones?
I could finish it in this app. I mean, if you don't want to have everything symmetrical, you can turn it off. And just have this side and this. I guess it's just as good as Procreate. Plus, it has this thing. But I think maybe the line quality is not as good. But for using in vectors, it's pretty good. I can use this sketch and draw on top of it in graphic. It would still come out nice. Yeah.
So between those three apps and Adobe, that's where all of your pictures come from?
Yeah. Sometimes I have to use Photoshop to convert all the layers on to separate PNGs, because that takes a lot of computing, and I don't think you can do that on the iPad. Because in Illustrator and in Photoshop, you can batch, you can have like all the layers. You can have a PSD file, and that PSD file you can export all PNGs automatically instead of having to do it manually. And sometimes when you have a bunch of layers, yeah, that would take you forever to do.
How many layers on average, like one of your killer bears, how many layers is it on average to make one?
Let me see. I think it's probably like 25, I think.
Wow.
Yeah, it's a lot of them. I have one right here. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, wait. But this would be with the mounts and everything. Just since they have different mounts. Let me see one without just a regular one. The one-offs. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 23. Yeah. 23. Wow. Yeah, they needed to have that because the eyelids and the ears and all the items, they have to be in separate layers so they can, the eyelids can go on top of any shape of eye that you would need. I can show you here. Yeah, you can see there all the layers. Are you seeing my screen?
Yeah, I see it. That's a lot of layers for one picture. And
yeah,
pretty impressive.
Thanks. It's just the eyebrows. I mean, you have 3 different type of eyebrows and all the mouths. Yeah, I think if you don't count all the types of mouth, maybe it's a lot less, because here we have all this kind of mouths. And if you just pick one, and yeah, you have it like that. But then you have the layers for the clothing and the hats and the items. So yeah, maybe 15 layers with the clothing.
And what program is that you have on your computer?
This is Illustrator.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And I like this because, well, this is not the best example. But in this one, for example, I can change the color really easy, you see?
Are those are just basic, those are in Illustrator, none of that, like all those patterns are just from Illustrator? Or do you make those yourself?
All the what?
All of the colors fills that you're using there, when you're changing the color of the bear.
Oh, I made this. I made this. Yeah, I made all of this. So this is like the basic skin color. See there? And this is the magic wand. It selects all of the same color. So you see, it's really easy to change them, or to apply a pattern like the Jaguar one here. And then once applied, it's easier to even change the color of the pattern, like this, for example. And then you go back and you have a different, I don't know why it messed it up. but yeah, you can change the pattern here, and it will change automatically on your character. So it's these kind of things you can't do with graphic yet. Sorry for the noise.
That's all right.
Okay. You still see my my screen, right?
Yep.
Okay. Do you have any other questions for the drawing?
Does anybody else want to ask any questions? Adam, Jojo, Jay, Ricky? Nobody?
I
don't think I have.
would, but I'm busy making NFTs right now. Like I'm inspired.
I can't use Procreate because I'm an Android user. Thank you.
Oh God,
Someone can watch
yeah.
it.
I'm sure that there's this channel of this guy that rates all programs for Android too, and there's very good programs in Android to draw. And since you're doing just this basic sketching, it won't be hard to find a good one in there in Android.
I will. Thank you.
And you can color here too. I mean, it has a lot of brushes and everything.
So what's the difference between, you use Procreate and Graphic? The main difference in the lines is you can change them once you've drawn them.
Yeah, exactly. Because here in Procreate, I think you have some settings. Then you can make it smoother, taper and stabilization and all that. And that's all good. You can do that, but then you're limited to the resolution of your illustration. With graphic and vectors, you can just, for example, print any of these bears. You can make it as tall as a building if you wanted to print it that big, and it won't lose resolution if you have a printer that it's good enough. And changing colors, it's also very easy, as you saw there in Illustrator or in Graphic. In Graphic, you can't select all of the same colors. I wish you had a magic wand here. It would really help a lot, and I've been asking for it for a long time. If I could select all of the same color here and change it at once, it would really help a lot. And you can do that on Illustrator.
Okay. So your NFTs that you're bringing out, the killer bears.
Yeah.
They start on Procreate, right?
Yeah.
What canvas size do you use on Procreate?
I use 3500 by 3500 usually.
And then when you put them into Graphic, was it the same?
Yeah.
Okay,
yeah.
cool.
I like to keep it that way. All the same size. So when I open it in Illustrator, they all are in the same position, and when I take a screenshot and want to change anything and send it back to Procreate, I'm not moving anything around.
Yeah, it's easier that way. No, that's cool. Yeah. So, I just saw one of your pictures there. You just had just laser eyes, for example. There's the picture I sent you the other day, Brian Griffin. Yeah. So if you look at it's an animated one, but you see the lasers, how would you go about, what's the word, illuminating? So you almost got the laser and it's illuminated around the edge and stuff.
Oh, right. I do that in Photoshop, actually.
Oh, okay. So you got 17 programs.
Yeah, I have all the Adobe, the creative, what is it called?
Yeah, I know what you mean. I can't figure the word, but
the Adobe Creative Suite. I pay a monthly.
You have an arsenal of weapons for drawing.
But I think you can do that. You can do that in Procreate if you wanted to. I'm sure of it. I'm not very familiar with how to do it, but I'm sure. Let me try here. I mean, if you have it here, maybe. Yeah, if you apply a blur. Yeah, there you go. You could apply a blur to it. Have it like that. And make that blur, because here you have different types of, you have lighting, screen, dodge, color dodge, lighter color. And you can see it here because the background is white, but I can change the background there to black, and you can see it's like glowing.
Yeah.
So yeah, you can do it in Procreate.
So I guess it's pretty easy once you get used to it.
Yeah.
But it's just learning the things first. Yeah, that looks great already, just like that.
Yeah. On top of it. There you go. Yeah, and you have like laser things. Yeah, just with blur and different types of overlays here, soft light, vivid light. You can choose all of this here in Procreate.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, it has some pretty great stuff here. I haven't experimented everything here with Procreate, but see, you can do even these things. I didn't know you can do it.
What is that?
It's like it's pretty like a halftone of the glow.
Okay.
And I'm guessing you can do this halftone. You can adjust the settings. Yeah, see all this craziness here.
Looks like molecules.
Yeah. And I guess if you wanted to have the resolution bigger, let me see how big you can go. Yeah, you can have a lot of detail here if you want it with Procreate. Yeah, see this line?
Yeah.
Yeah, you can make very fine lines here.
So this is Procreate.
Yeah.
You see your line there on the left line.
Yeah.
Can you zoom into that?
This one.
Yeah, you see your lines are like perfect, but when we're doing them, they still seem pixelated. That's nothing to do with because you've got an iPad Pro, is it?
I think you need to make a bigger canvas.
Oh, okay.
Like when you choose it here, you have all these sizes, but you can pick the one on here on top that has a plus sign, and you can select your own number. Here on DPI, you can change it. It has you can make it 300, and that would give you a very good resolution. Maybe make this 5,000 by 5,000 pixels. You see, it makes the maximum layers a lot less because you can have that many. But then you go here and you have a very, you have to make your brush very big to get that, and you can see it has less pixels.
Yeah.
You can mix ultra fine details here.
So I don't know what canvas we're using. I think it's like 2,800 or something. By the same.
Yeah, and you have to check also the resolution. Probably you have a bigger resolution, you'll get crisper images.
I'm gonna have a look at that in a bit.
Yeah, and also take into account this end you see here. I don't know if you see it on the blue font.
Yeah.
Here you can change it. Probably have you can make your work a lot easier for shadows and everything if you do it the same way I was showing you before. That you make a layer for the shadows. Make it color, then have it as a multiply layer, and then you have everything shaded no matter what color it is.
Oh, sorry, I'm not sure what you mean there.
Let me see if I can draw something here very quick. For example, let's say you have this circle and the color is this layer. Let's say it's orange. And then you have a layer in the middle. and I use this red. So this layer, I make it a multiply layer and change the opacity down. Then you have a shading, you see?
Okay.
And then every color you make here, if you want it, if it's green, you still see the shadow.
Oh, okay.
So
it
that way
doesn't
you
go
don't
over.
have to shade. You can change colors easier, and your line, it would keep being on top, and you wouldn't have to mess with it. You can make it, your line all black.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah. Yeah. So with Procreate you can do this, have a big resolution, but only be limited to 37 layers, which I think it's enough.
Yeah, we've already hit layer problems, but we just started a new project and then copied it over.
Okay.
The same project, but started more layers in a different. What do you even call it? The gallery where you pick the different things.
Yeah.
That's what we've had to do. I think it was 44 layers, and we hit it.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Yeah, you probably have different limitations on based on the memory of your iPad too.
Yeah, we've only got an older one.
Yeah.
Does the job.
Any other questions you have?
I think I'm good for now. I think I've asked you plenty of questions privately.
No, it's no problem.
You'll have to let me know if you get annoyed, because I won't stop.
I got no questions. I want to just watch this over again because there was so much stuff going on so fast.
Oh yeah, sorry.
No, it's good. It's just impressive to see how quick you've drawn like 5 different things, and we've only been talking for less than 40 minutes. So, and you showed us what you were doing along the way. So great. Like not much I can say. It's just
I have to. I get requests for illustrations every day, so I have to finish them quick. So I get a lot of practice with that. But yes, I said here, that's what I like graphic best. For example, you can see here, I made this mistake. I want them to align, and you can move them here, and you can't do that with Procreate, unfortunately. Or you could do it, but it's more troublesome.
Oh, cheeky circle.
Then you give it line quality, and then they convert it to outlines and erase all that part that's not working.
You're using a pen, right?
Yeah, the Apple
It just
Pen.
sounds like you're clicking on a keyboard, but I think it's just a pen on the screen.
Yeah, it has a hard tip. I know some people use like a softer tip, but so it doesn't slide across the screen. But I'm okay with this. I think it works. It works pretty well. You could even do it with your fingers here if you wanted to.
You haven't seen my fingers.
Like this. I'm using just my finger, and then you can go back and fix it.
Oh, nice.
You have your handles here too, and fix the shape nice.
Just come to England, and I'll set you up in my room, and you can just draw. I'll feed you.
Memo, would you mind, like, just in general on either this one or Procreate, could you just draw like a ball or something and just show how you would make it? Like you said before when we did the text AMA that you like to add depth and add like volume and stuff. Like how would you make, like how simple is it to make, like I just
A
have a hard
ball?
time with like shape. Yeah, like just a ball, like any shape just to show it, like to make it look like the way you do the shading and everything. Like how would you do something simple so that I could
Well,
translate that like concept into like a hand or something else?
like if I wanted to draw a perfect circle here or a ball, I would just pick the shape here. And then I know this is not perfectly symmetrical, so I go back to the ruler. And in geometry, I can see here the numbers, so I just make it the same on both. And I can select here the to make it all proportional. See, now if I make it bigger or smaller, it's all proportional.
So now from there, like how would you make that look three-dimensional, like but with shading and everything, how would you make that look like it's three-dimensional?
So first of all, I would pick, yeah,
Go ahead.
I would pick like a brush and mess with the line quality. You can see here, I made the line thinner on top and thicker on the bottom. And that starts to give it, more three-dimensionality. And then I just copy this, paste it in place. Make it like this. Give it a color. To make it red. And then it's very important to give it a proper shadow. I usually go like this. And there are settings here for smoothing. Like if I go all the way down, it will make a very shaky line. See how it is there?
Oh, I see. Yeah.
And I go all the way on top. I can make it way smoother. Once I'm here, I can, refine it. And then give it some brightness top of here. And then make this down. And lastly, I would give a gradient to the ball. I don't remember how to modify the gradient here. Oh, there we go. Like this. So you have a more three-dimensional shape right there.
Sick.
And then when you adjust the smoothness, when you did the shadow on the bottom, if you were doing something that like a ball is symmetrical and it's perfectly round, if you were doing like one of the bears and you were doing shading around like its torso or the hands, would you use a less smooth brush when you did it? Or do you always turn it all the way up?
Not always, because if you turn it all the way up, it starts creating weird shapes. Like this, for example. Say I wanted to get this detail right, and I did.
Oh, it changed it.
Yeah, it changes it too much. It makes it so you have to control it here a bit. Maybe like that. Still too much. Yeah, that's right. Like that.
So it depends on the size of the detail. If you were doing something small,
yeah,
it has to be less smooth.
Yeah, sometimes I even use the brush instead of the shape. Like here, for example, I would just do it like that, and then adjust the thickness of the line. There you have it. And then I sometimes export all of this. This is another. Okay, you're having like a, how do you call it? Like a news before everyone else. Like
This
making.
is another project.
It's gonna be pets for the killer bears.
Oh, very cool.
Yeah. So these are not out yet. No one knows about this yet, but I made this little pet. Oh, you're okay.
She was fired up for the exclusive. That's what we call it. There we go.
So I drew this all in separate parts and then just export them to Illustrator. I don't remember why I was showing you this.
Oh. Interesting, nonetheless.
Yeah. So all the shadows I leave red, and then in Illustrator I just make them change the opacity, multiply, and then fix the gradients and everything there. I just got used to working like that because since I sell my images on pages like Shutterstock and iStock Photo and all of those, they don't let you use transparencies. So I have to flatten all the transparencies in Illustrator before uploading this to those pages, so they won't take them.
When you post pictures on like Twitter or any of the social media websites, do you put like a watermark or anything on it so that people don't? I know we've seen people steal your work before, but do you try to like stop people, or would like do you just let them? People are going to do it anyway if they can, but do you ever try to put a watermark? Or
I used to do put watermarks on the ones on Instagram, but it doesn't look nice on your whole screen, and people steal them anyway because they get the vectors, they export like a JPEG, and then they upload it somewhere.
Yeah,
it's less work for them, but then again, they make my images popular, so I still sell them anyway. So they're just making marketing for me. I see it that way. And then I don't care if they make some money out of it. I make money too, so that's okay. As long as they don't want to sue me for, I had people try to do that. They steal an image, someone sells it to them, and then they want to sue me, or they want to take down my image.
So do you have an attorney for when things like this happen? Like how often does something like that happen to you?
It just happened with this woman that said that that a zombie hand I made was a copy of hers, but then I contacted her, and then I showed her that my hand was earlier. I was posted a year earlier than hers, so she dropped everything because she wasn't suing me, but she was taking my images down from Shutterstock and TeePublic and everything. And
even though she originally took it from you.
Yeah, she didn't take it from me. I just say it's a low hanging fruit. It's just like a basic idea, there's a zombie hand making the peace sign. Like a lot of people are gonna come up with that idea. So not every zombie hand doing the peace sign is gonna be a copy of each other. It's just like a common thing to do.
Well, it's very cool. Does anybody else, Jojo, Jay, do you have any questions?
No, this has been awesome, and man, I'm confused. I want to watch it back.
Yeah, I gotta watch it again, like 100 times over.
Yeah, if you get stuck in any step, you can let me know when you're working with Procreate or with Graphic. I usually do it.
If
I'm
you
used to doing it fast.
if you had to recommend, like, it obviously we're not all artists like you. If you had to recommend, if somebody was only going to use one app, which one would you say is the best if you were going to start and finish all on one app? Would you recommend one?
For what end? To make
For
NFTs?
yeah, NFTs, like, just, I don't know that any of us are drawing anything up to your caliber, but if the end result was going to be an NFT and it was going to be our own original art, which one's the best to start from a sketch, fill in the colors, and do the shading? Like, is there one that you could get away with just one app? If we're not just
Maybe
worried about the total
Photoshop.
quality.
I think
Which one?
Photoshop.
Just go to Photoshop?
Yeah, and there's one for the iPad too, and I don't use it a lot because it's heavy, and not all iPads can take it, and mine doesn't take it either. It gets slow, and I don't like that. So that's why I like use different programs that are specific to one thing. Graphic, for example, it's very fast. They also have Illustrator for the iPad, but I don't like using it, nor Photoshop. But if you were working on your PC, Photoshop would be the best. You can do everything there. There's this Illustrator for the iPad, and I've been trying to work on this because I would like to finish everything on the iPad. To be not working from home. If I wanted to finish anything and be
Yeah.
outside traveling, it would be great. But you can see here how slow it is to open, and you have all the layers here, but it's not very comfortable to work with. And it's really, to me, it's confusing. It has all this menus and everything, and I'm just used to the PC version of it, I guess.
So it's not similar to the PC version.
No, it has some things, but you see how long it takes it to move one thing from one place to another. I guess, yeah, but this is not so much. But yeah, it's not as good as the PC version, and my iPad is getting really hot right now. I think it's a lot of processing from the Illustrator, so that's why I don't like using it. I like Graphic better.
Hello?
What
I think
happened?
I think you lost him.
Oh, I thought I froze for a second because my screen stopped, but I think it's just because it's his screen. There it goes. Let me see if I can get him back.
Sorry, there. Didn't realize
That's
that.
okay.
I closed everything, and I closed Telegram too.
Telegram? Well, I mean, if nobody else has any questions or wants to see anything, I don't want to keep you here any longer, but I really appreciate your time. That was extremely impressive.
That was a great hour of me feeling like I'm a piece of crap.
Do you draw a lot on paper, or do you like, do you ever, like, if you're hitting a roadblock trying to make something, you sketch it on paper, or you just stick to the iPad?
Yeah, I just get to the iPad now. I used to love drawing on paper, but I think it's a lot better. It's easier to fix everything if you have layers and if you can scale things and move them around. And even if you don't have the pen, I do it with the finger, or even if I have an app on the phone, I do it there. If it's a big enough phone, I can even sketch there. I like doing that. And I have an Android too, so I don't remember what program. I think there's Photoshop for Android, and you can draw there with your finger. So you have like a quick idea on the go. You can do it there.
Wow. Well, I guess I'm catching up to do, because nothing I can draw comes out remotely like this. So
Yeah, you.
well, oh, go ahead.
No, if you're working on something, you can ask me anytime you like.
I appreciate it. I have many times. Well, if that's it, we're coming up on an hour, so it's pretty perfect. If maybe we'll do this again sometime and work on something new. But like I said, I really appreciate it, and I gotta watch this again because I missed, like, I was watching intently, and I think I missed like everything you did, because it's just seeing it happen, like, awestruck kind of. So
Yeah, I didn't want to bore you either, and sorry
no,
about the
it was
accent.
great. No, not at all. We all have accents. Did you hear Adam? Sounds like
Yeah.
all right. Thank you, Memo. I really
Okay,
appreciate
guys.
it, and we'll talk again soon.
Thank you,
Okay.
brother.
Talk to you guys later.
Yep. Have a good
Bye.
night, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.